What's up? In this video, I'm going to modify a brand new Glock 17. Everything from Cerakote, trigger work, to even stippling. So stay tuned.
Yeah, the other teams are moving in the background.
Alright, so I just got this brand new Glock 17 literally straight out of the box. I just got home with it. It's the MOS version. Obviously, let me make sure it's safe so it is clear. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to Cerakote the slide because that takes the longest. I have to bake it. So I'm going to take it apart, take out the sights, tape it up. I got to clean it real good because it does come with some oil, even from the factory. Clean it real good, and then I'm going to Cerakote it. So that'll be step one. Then I'm going to do a little bit of trigger work and a little bit of stippling, and I'm going to walk you through the whole process. So let me take it apart real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, as you can see, I got it completely assembled. It's in 100 parts right now. So the things that I'm actually going to paint, number one is going to be the slide. I took it apart. I took the front side out, rear side out. I do have a Glock tool, which makes it super easy, and the MOS plate. That's one of the things I'm going to paint. The very next thing I'm going to paint is actually, I took the slide lock out of the frame. I'm going to paint just the outer edges of that. I think it'll make some good contrast on the frame with just a little bit of color down below. I'm also going to paint the just the outside edges of the trigger housing pin as well for that contrast, and then just the kind of the outer edges of the slide lock lever. Before I can Cerakote any of these parts though, I have to clean them off real good. So I'm going to wipe them down, then I'm going to clean them off with some degreaser, because even from the factory, as you can see, they come with kind of a little bit of oil and residue on them. And if I try painting it, it won't work. So I'm going to completely clean it off. Then I'm going to stick it in the oven for about 30 minutes. That way it'll bake off any of the moisture as well as kind of any of excess residue that's in there. So that's going to be step one. Once I do that, I'll kind of bring you back. I'm going to tape it up, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, so I just have it, I just washed it and then with some degreaser, and I have it in the oven. I'm going to leave it in there about 30 minutes. It's just one of those little kind of toaster ovens. I got it at 300 degrees. I'm going to leave it for about 30 minutes. That way it'll clean off all the residue, and then we should be good to go to paint. Alright, well, I got that in the oven baking, kind of burning off all that oil and excess residue. I'm going to take advantage of the time and do a little bit of work on the trigger. So, couple things I'm going to do. Number one, I'm going to change out the firing pin spring for a 3-pound spring, and I'm going to change the connector, right? This is a 3.5 double diamond connector. I do this to all my Glocks. If you haven't seen my video on DIY mods, must do DIY mods for your Glock, check it out, because I break down step by step what you need to do. So in addition to changing these two parts out, I am going to polish a few of the internals. So I got my Dremel tool ready. And then I use this Mother's mag aluminum polish. This thing is awesome, and it'll just polish everything up. And what that does is it'll make the trigger nice and smooth, because anywhere there's metal contact, that just kind of helps out with that and makes it smooth and kind of a little bit less friction, right? So again, I'm going to do that real quick, but if you haven't seen my video, check that out, because I lay down step by step on everything that needs to be polished inside the Glock. Alright, so I got the slide all taped up, and I got it hanging here. If you see, I put some tape on the inside as well as some cotton there where the ejection extractor goes. A little bit on the inside as well. I'm going to hang it pretty much here. And then I have the other parts, which are just small parts. I'm going to paint those, just kind of hold them in my hand and paint them as I go. I'm going to use this Magpul Flat Dark Earth is the one I'm going to go with. See how it turns out. I'm going to mix it. It's 18 parts of this to 1 part of the hardener there. Then I'll mix it and then get to spray. I'll kind of come back to that so you can see it, but it should come out pretty easily. Then I already have the oven kind of preheating. It should be at 300 degrees, and it'll sit in there for an hour once I get in there. So let me kind of get the mixture all set up, and then I'll show you the process. Alright, got it all taped up. I'm ready to go. Obviously my mask. Here we go. See how it goes. I'm going to do the front top real quick. Go down the side, other side, other side, other side. All right, I have it in the oven. See if you can see that. It's in there hanging from the top. Got the other parts there on the bottom. They'll have to sit in there for an hour at 300 degrees, so I'll come back in an hour and see how it's doing. All right, so I got the slide over in the oven baking. It's got another 45 minutes. What I'm gonna do is while I wait, I'm actually gonna stipple the frame a little bit. So all you need to do is you'll grab a Dremel with kind of that sandpaper type grip, and you're gonna get rid of all those kind of textured marks on there. And I also get rid of the kind of that line there. What that'll do is once I actually stipple it, it'll be a lot smoother. So let me do that real quick. I'll do a little bit so you can see it, and then I'll kind of show you the rest there. All right, I went ahead and kind of removed all that texture with the Dremel. Now the next step is, actually I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I took a pencil and I actually marked out kind of where I want to stipple all the way around. That way I kind of follow a pattern. And then this is kind of the painstaking process. I literally grab my soldering iron and I just start poking little holes, and I do 4 little squares at a time. I'm going to zoom in here in a minute in order to kind of keep the pattern random. All right, timer for the slide went off, so I'm gonna go get it, but just to give you an update on where I'm at. So I got one side all the way through here, so I'm about maybe 3/4 of the way done. Took me about 40 minutes, 35-40 minutes to do that. So I'm gonna pull the slide out to the oven, let it cool off. By the time it cools off, I should be done with the stippling. All right, there's the slide. Let me just check the temperature real quick. I've been checking it sporadically, so I'm right around 300 there. So let me grab it out of there real quick, so if you can see, and then I'm gonna just let it cool off. So I got it here, and then we're gonna place it over here. I'm just gonna let it cool off for a while. All right, there you have it, all done. As you can see, stippled both sides of it. Let's see if you can. Let me zoom in on here. Everything's stippled all the way around. Now it's just a matter of assembling it. The slide should be dry. Total time to stipple this, the whole frame for the handle area, maybe an hour at the most. While that was in the oven, I pretty much did this, so it's not that hard to do. And it's really not, I mean, it's an hour. It is a little bit time consuming, but not that difficult. So let me grab the slide and bring it all together. All right, here's the slide. I'm just gonna kind of present it to the frame just to kind of see what it looks like. So as you can see, it came out pretty good. Now I just got to finish off with put everything back together, and we should be good to go. So let me do that real quick. All right, it's all assembled again. Nice, smooth trigger pull. Only thing I got left now, put the accessories on, put a pistol light on there. And then I'm gonna put a little optic on there as well, a Cerakote SRO. And then it's time to go to the range and see how it goes. So let me put these 2 things on there, and then I'll be right back to give you the kind of full demo on everything we did. All right, there you have it. I am all done. It came out much better than I expected. Super happy with how it came out. So just to recap, we Cerakoted the slide and a couple of the accessories. Internally, I changed out the firing pin spring. Again, if you haven't seen my video, check that out on how to kind of do those modifications internally. Polished everything as well, stippled the handle, and then basically added a light, right? Also, I have a video on that if you haven't seen it, super good. One of my favorites, like TLR7 Alpha. And then we added a red dot, and that is pretty much it. I am super happy with how it came out. So, as you can see, it took me about 2 to 3 hours to do the whole project, but a lot of the time was waiting for the Cerakote to dry. So as that was drying, I was kind of peppering at some of the other little projects on there. So definitely something you can do at home. So if you found this information valuable, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, as it truly does help. With that, stay safe and train hard.